Hello there, Tyrant here, and I just finished watching the latest episode of the Ancient Magus Bride. And so, it's right after the events where Tisa just, dipped out of Elias and headed with Joseph. What's interesting enough of this episode is, so, we get to see kind of, Joseph's relations to, what's the fuck's his name? Counterfils? Fuck. Whatever his ancient creature's name is. Apparently the lore behind him is that he, is one of the people who threw a stone at God's son or something. And now he's cursed to live forever in agony. Which is like, what? Okay, that's interesting. Sure. But then we see his relationship with Joseph, this kind of grave digger who no one really cared about and everything. And we just kind of see it's a flashback, and it's interesting because he was just a very say negative character in the way that that's his life. Just horrible. And so he kind of gave himself up to Counterfils, and became one, and now they are one, continuing just to absorb other creatures to continue living, which was really interesting because we never really got to explore, because we knew what kind of he was, but now we kind of seen who this Joseph character is. And she's kind of trying to figure out a way to help him. Now, it has to be something to go along with that. As we just continue with the episode, we also see Elias being helped by the king and queen of the fairies, which was like, okay. What's interesting is the queen. Something I think that's what that was about last episode. It was the rebirth thing, whole shenanigans. I finally clicked one and one together. I didn't realize it until now. I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. I honestly did not get that, because she was young, and wait a second, there was this whole episode, this scene where your boobs had strange physics and it didn't make sense. But then oh wait, did you just rebirth yourself? Oh, so that's what that scene was about. Interesting. Phoenix status, but there's probably some more lore behind that. But Elias is trying to get some help, or being offered help by the king and queen in the way fairies do, and with temptation, and he denies that. And even then, but he still gets help from them with her ability to kind of sense the world, and that was really interesting. Because she's just kind of sending waves of energy throughout the world, and it's kind of affecting everyone. To the point where they find Chise, and they have this whole kind of mid-battle with all of Joseph's entities, I will say, which was pretty cool. I like that. It wasn't an epic battle, but it was just intense for just a scenario, as she's just kind of holding back and trying to figure out a way to not only hold him back and kind of fight, but also figure out a way to save Joseph and Counterfils. So there's also a small scene with one of the women from the Witch Covenant, but that's kind of just it's not that it's added in, but it's to continue with that story plot, and we'll see how that develops next episode. But but it was just interesting. She turned into a bull. What was that? Okay, but now they're on the run. No, not on the run, but they're on the chase. There you go. They're on the chase to catch Joseph and figure out a way to help him. That's what he's been screaming in agony for, apparently, for centuries, which is shitty. So yeah. We're gonna have to wait and see, what is gonna happen, because there's a lot that is being held, Joseph's past in agony, or Counterfils, Then Chisa kind of just reeling back from her like own past and figuring out herself and all that. So yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. And one last thing I'd like to note is like when the episode ends, you know, the end credits begin and everything. I honestly thought it was like ending, but the scene or the scene at the end is literally the end credits scenes before the music starts playing and the credits start playing. It's literally that scene. I was like, wait a second, it's already over. Okay, but no, it I think panels down, if I remember right. It panels down and he's sitting at the fountain. Like, oh, what? So the show ends kind of here. Okay, interesting. But no, yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens from here. So, thanks again for watching. Until next time.